This person wrote in, my boyfriend cheated and he doesn't know that I know. What should I do? I literally do not know. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Firsties. I am your host, Mila. If you can tell from the title today, we are going to jump into a Firsties Corner episode. This is where you're able to write in, ask any questions that you want. Sometimes I'm scared of that. You can also comment on any of our videos on YouTube as well as TikTok and Instagram if you guys want to join in on all the conversation. I do want to say that for this episode, my girl Harmally was supposed to be here, and then we had some mechanical issues, but the show must go on. So you're just going to have me, so I hope you don't mind. But we're going to jump in on this Firsties Corner episode. As always, thank you so much for being here, liking, subscribing, doing all the things. I really do appreciate it. Every single day we're growing and growing and growing. And I really, really genuinely want this content to resonate with people. I want people to feel seen and heard, and I want us to have conversations with our loved ones and our parents and bridge the gap between the different generations and our cultures. So that's my hope. So please make sure you share, like, subscribe, comment, and if you're already doing that, I really, really do appreciate it. All right, now that we're done with that, glad I did that without crying. Let's jump into these Firsties Corner. So again, if you want to write into Firsties Corner, you can comment on some of our videos, or you can go on firstiespod@gmail.com and write in. So the first one here, I do have to preface by saying some of these are questions and some of these are just comments. So I will be reading some of the comments from our videos as well. So I will be reading some DMs, which I'm terrified. Okay, I try to stay out of the DMs. Okay. Congrats on 1 year is the first comment. Thank you so much. I cannot believe we made it a year. I can't wait for what the second year brings us. We launched last year of September 25 and launched 5 episodes. It was just me with a vlogging camera. And now we have multicam, different setup. A lot's happening. We're keep on getting bigger and bigger and better and better. So it is really exciting. I actually want to mention, not to get off topic, but I think I mentioned on a previous episode how I'm trying to do my best with staying present and how I'm already living the dream that I've always wanted, which was to kind of produce and create my own show, and have information for people and have people come on who could share and share their expertise on things, to make people better and make them feel seen and heard, and also just like entertain them. And I'm realizing that I'm probably gonna look back at this footage and be like, oh my God, like those were the days that we were just like having fun, throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. And so I should probably be present in this moment now, because as first gens, honestly, it's very on brand. We're always looking for tomorrow. We're always saving. We're always looking for like preparing for that rainy day and not really like living in the moment. I kind of learned that from my parents, low key. And so kind of like taking time to be like, oh my God, like look around you, Mila, look around whoever's listening to this, who's made it this far. If you woke up every single day, you're already winning. And so kind of being grateful for those little things, which are actually massive things, low key. It's just perspective, right? So I'm just like, every time I'm able to turn on these cameras and this mic, I'm super, super excited. Like genuinely, I finally found my happy place, which is literally this. Like, I hope you could hear whoever's behind this screen or whoever's listening to this, that truly I finally found my happy place, what genuinely makes me happy, at peace. I genuinely am not thinking about anything else except what I'm saying to you guys right now. And I think I'm one of the lucky ones. And if I could help anyone out there kind of achieve that as well, get one step closer, then I think I've done my job. So we should probably get back to these questions. Okay. Someone wrote in. Now, here's the thing. With the Firsties Corner, you could also write advice. So some people write advice. I always say, like, girl, I don't know what I'm doing, right? I'm embracing that. I don't know what I'm doing. But if you want advice from me, sure. I don't know if I qualify, but sure. This person wrote in, my boyfriend cheated and he doesn't know that I know. What should I do? I literally do not know. Never been through this before, but what I will say is if that is a deal breaker for you, because everyone's different. Now it's easy for me to be like, bye, sir, bye. But I don't know your situation. I don't know if you've had children with this person, if you have a plan with this person. I don't know what's going on if you're living with this person. I don't know. I would love to know how old you are, because I do think that plays a part in this. If you're 16, if you're not an adult, peace out to that person. If you're a little bit older, I would also say peace out to that person, but that's easier said than done. I wish I knew more information. Reach out to me again if you can. I'm the type of person where like I can't pretend like I don't know something. If I know something, it just impacts my behavior, my actions. So I'm not sure why he doesn't know that you don't know, unless you're planning something, which I don't want to be part of that. I don't have any bail money for you. Do what you got to do. I do want to say I'm sorry that you found that out. I think it's probably best that you exit left, and he probably did you a favor by being unfaithful, truly, because I don't know you, but every single person deserves to be with someone who's honest and is faithful to them, if that is what you seek out in a relationship, and it sounds like you do. So best of luck to you. That's kind of wild. It was so nice meeting you. This comment here, it was so nice meeting you at the movies. We've talked about this before with Mila too, but it was insane how, I don't think you guys understand, when you're in this seat here, we're just putting out content. Like, if I'm honest, I basically turned my apartment into my podcast studio. One, to write off part of my rent. Thanks, Mom, for helping me with that. But also, to just make it more comfortable. I want the guests to come on. I want it to feel like cousins on a couch. I say that a million times, right? So sometimes when I see, like, I had a coworker recently reach out and kind of quote something from an episode, and I was like, oh my God, like, it was like my two worlds colliding, and I didn't know how to feel about it. I'm like, oh my God, Mila, of course people are connecting with your content, because I genuinely don't think when you see a number or the amount of plays on an episode, it doesn't actually hit that people are really connecting and actually like tuning in. So of course I'm grateful and thank you, but sometimes I forget. So it was so nice meeting you. So in reality, when that happened, where people are walking up and they recognize Hermela or myself or even Miriam, it's kind of super cool. Yeah. So hope it was great. It was great meeting you as well. This next question, again, like, it's like, I am not a therapist. Who told y'all to write in these questions? Anyways, how do I find my purpose? I think I'm going to steal this from my brother. Just try a bunch of shit. Just try. Again, I've talked about this before. My biggest mistake, because I come from an Ethiopian Christian family, and appearing to be perfect was more important than the reality of what we were living in. That's just the reality of living in an immigrant home. So I mastered that, truly. I was like, I still am, but I was the perfect daughter, was very responsible, behaved, has some normal stuff, of course, like behaviors, but for the most part, I behaved. I did great in school, all that stuff. I just was never a disruptor. I can't say that about myself now, but when I was younger, I definitely was obedient and like barely got in trouble. I wasn't the one, and my mom was definitely not the one to mess with. And my biggest thing the skill that or not even the skill, but what I built up is that I just had the fear of making a mistake. And that was the actual biggest mistake I've made of my life. Because I do feel as though you only know your skills or what you're good at or what you're interested in by just trying a bunch of stuff, whether it's like pottery, dance, a chemistry class, sound engineer, whatever the case is, or go on YouTube and watch people that you admire and see if you connect with their content or their work and go down that route. Because I can't say this more, I've said this on other episodes before, but I truly, truly, truly think that we are placed on this earth to serve one another. And that service is with the talent that God has gave us. And so if we're able to really cultivate that and mold and perfect that talent, once you perfect it, share it with the world, I think that's how we're able to connect with each other and make the world a better place. And but if you don't try stuff, you could grow up every day thinking you're the dumbest or not talented or whatever. No, you're just not in the lane where you were created to thrive. So it's like that old saying of, I'm going to butcher it, but like essentially if you try to teach, is it a monkey or a fish? No, if you try to teach a monkey if you try to teach a fish how to climb, it'll always think it's stupid or something along the lines, because it's not made to thrive on land. It's made to thrive in water, right? So how do I find my purpose? I don't know the actual answer, but I do know at the very least what you can do is cancel some stuff out. Like, oh, try a little bit of this. Didn't really like that. Don't like that lifestyle. Try a little bit of that. Just try stuff, especially when you're a teen and in your 20s. It's literally the decades to try stuff. As you get older, you get more tired. You're not as enthusiastic. You're not as inspired. But when you're younger, you're still a little bit naive. You're still a little bit, I would say, like, youthful, and like you're still kind of like a half glass full type of person. So try a bunch of stuff. That includes relationships as well. Like, have a healthy dating life and see what you like and what you don't like. Let's not get carried away. All my little brothers and sisters out there. But I do think the way to, in my experience, the way I found my purpose, and I think I'm still learning every single day, is by placing myself in situations where I was able to serve. Because once I was able, you can't find your purpose until you find, or you develop yourself. I'm not going to say find yourself, but develop yourself. So like, who is Mila? What do I like? What I don't like? And then going from there. I hope that helps. I'm still figuring that out as well. Someone commented, I can see you getting more comfortable on the podcast. Keep going. I almost cried from this comment. The reason why is because it rings true. Very few by the time I read a comment and kind of get emotional or just be like, is someone chopping onions? Because truly with this podcast, like, if you could see from the first episode, do not go back to the first episode. Let's just forget that happened. But I had my mom on, so I love her to death. But I'm still getting comfortable with myself, and I'm getting very comfortable with the lights and cameras and the mics and everything like that. And I think you guys are seeing more of my personality, where I'm a little bit more sarcastic, dry humor, and not really like editing myself in real time. I'm just kind of being my genuine self, and that does feel good. So thank you for that. That's very sweet. This next one, what is something you've learned from the pod? I think the biggest thing I've learned from launching a podcast and starting a company is that I can't do it on my own. Like, even having people behind the camera, having a co-host for episodes and stuff, there has to be trust there. And like, this is my baby, right? This is like, I birthed this company with the help of the Lord, literally. And trusting myself that I can make the right decisions to get this company to where it needs to go and in the right direction. So I would say the biggest thing I learned for myself is like, trust yourself. Like, you know what's best for you, Mila. Your age doesn't mean shit. Just because I know 40-year-olds who need to get their ish together. I also know 15-year-olds who are very much wise and well above their years. So sometimes I can second guess myself because I have like baby of the family syndrome. Like, I'm the youngest of my siblings. I'm the youngest of my cousins. So I've like gotten really comfortable in that role of not making decisions, because who's going to turn to the baby for anything, right? Of just kind of allowing other people to tell me how to live my life. And I think I've definitely broken out of that mold for sure, and not going back. Shout out to my family. Someone commented, come to Chicago. I've never been to Chicago. I would love to go. Maybe we'll have a show there, or maybe I'll have a guest there that I have to fly out to connect with. But I've never been to Chicago. I would love to go. I've heard the food is amazing, so I would love to go. This next one, what do you think of Love Island DC so far? So me and Hermel have talked about this in a previous episode, so I'm guessing that's from that episode. But first of all, let's talk about it again. The fact that they don't have one African, one Nigerian, one Ethiopian, one something with a little bit of sauce is insane to me. In DC, if you're familiar with the DC area, there's so many of us. That's literally the entire population. I'm shocked. I will say, as of right now, I'm up to date with all of the episodes. I'm going to be surprised if any of the couples make it to the finish line. I think there's one or two. But for the most part, they're just not as compatible as I think they thought they were. And it was a lot of strong personalities as well. The one guy who like got accused of cheating or whatever while he was doing a sleep test. Like, at that point, what are you doing? I don't understand, men. Let me just end it at that. I just don't understand what is going on. Someone commented, pinching kids is crazy. I think I know who that is. It's one of my friends. But For context, on the unpopular opinion episode, I said that we should get back to pinching kids. I still stand by that. What I mean by that, I am not condoning abuse whatsoever. I literally would not hurt a fly. But what I'm saying is I do think gentle parenting is only appropriate for indoors. It is not appropriate for the public, because when a kid is in the middle of the walkway and it could potentially get hurt, like, yank that kid over to you. I don't have the time for you to gentle parent to be like, okay, let's walk on this side. So, and truly the context between that is because I recently was at the grocery store, and this kid, who probably looked like he was 12 or 13, was chewing out his mother. Not only chewing her out, but chewing her out in public. And genuinely, like, it was so cringe. And I was like, I would not be alive if I spoke to my mother that way. Genuinely not be alive. So I was just like, man, we got to get back to putting some fear into kids. Again, not abuse. I don't endorse abuse. But I would definitely say, like, I feared my mom and my dad for a little bit growing up. And I think it just meant that I respected them, and I was fearful of their disappointment. And I think that helped me out to grow up to not be a piece of shit. Anyways, this next comment is, Snapchat is my fave. I'll never give it up. Okay, so the person who ever commented that is wild, because if you have Snapchat in 2024, Mila spoke about this before, and I totally support her. If you have Snapchat in 2024 and that's his form of communication, he has bodies in his closet. He is a toxic person. What are we talking about? We're grown. Like, we're all above the drinking age, that we're adults. If that is his form of communication, it's calling raps. Truly, the two ways that you could easily get me disinterested is if you ask for my sign in the very first couple of conversations or questions. I've had a guy on a date, the very first thing he asked me is, what was my sign? I said, check please, and I went home. Because what are we actually talking about? And then also, Snapchat. If that is the form of communication, yeah, I'm good. I'm good, babes. That was definitely like, it's giving middle school, high school. So let's keep it there. So absolutely not. So it could be your fave. You don't have to give it up, but you're showing me your toxic traits. This next one. What are you reading at the moment? So I literally just started The Alchemist. Shout out to Mila for recommending that. I'm literally just like a couple chapters in, so I'm not done yet. But I'm excited to see what I learned from that book. As you know, I literally read everything Malcolm Gladwell. So finally I'm trying something new. So I'll report back after I finish that book. Are you dressing up for Halloween? So speaking of that, our Halloween episode will be coming up. And if it's not been out yet, I never know when these episodes are coming out. But yes, we are dressing up, so check out for that. I'm super excited. Me and Hermele will potentially be doing like a duo, so look out for that, for the photos on Instagram, TikTok, videos, and then we'll probably be dressed up on the actual episode, which is going to be fun. So check that. That's probably a good episode to look on our YouTube rather than go to the audio. That's going to be fun. I was just talking to Hermele the other day that, like, I only miss college around Halloween, because in the college days, it's just like you have so much fun dressing up. Halloween is essentially the time where you could wear whatever the hell you want, not be judged. That's essentially what it's giving. Mean Girls. That's exactly what it is, right? And I feel like outside of college, it's just not as, you can still dress up, obviously do what you want, but it's just not like as fun, I guess. Like, I have no plans or no desires to go to a Halloween party now. Not necessarily, but when I was in college, it was so much fun to dress up as, like, I had like 4 or 5 different costumes. Every night we'd be going out. It was a fun time. So literally only during Halloween is when I miss college. All right, this next one. I know who wrote this in, but someone just said, "Thank you for being the greatest friend." When I saw this, definitely teared up a little bit. I don't know if I'm just having an emotional week. Work has been rough, guys. My day job. But I want to put this in because I think I'm learning that, like, what is the actual definition of a good friend, or like having these amazing relationships? Because I cannot tell you how many people, the most successful people who I admire, who have something that I want or desire, who they always just state that, like, none of it actually matters unless your relationships are, like, enriched and impactful. And I just don't want to get to a place where I'm very, very financially successful or with my career or whatever, and I look around and my relationships aren't the best, because then what what am I doing any of this for? And so when someone wrote that in, it was just a friendly reminder that I'm learning that in relationships, whether it's platonic or actually romantic, that the genuinely most loving thing you could do is spend time with that person. Give them your time. I definitely, in the busy time in my day job as well as the podcast, I definitely think that like my closest friends, they'll understand. Like I'll just reschedule, whatever the case is. But really just being there is quite literally what relationships are. It's just being there, whether it's your family, your friends, your parents, your cousins. It's just spending actual time with your loved ones, because you literally won't get that back. Think of it this way. The time that I spend, let's say tonight with my cousin Mary, we're actually going to a soul cycle class together. We're so excited. We'll never get that time back. So the fact that she's paying me with her time and I'm paying her with my time is a very loving and very genuine thing. And so I'm learning that while I'm busy making plans, that's when life is going to happen. And sometimes life be lifing. It be throwing hands sometimes. I'm just like, can I just lay down for a second? But that's not an excuse to not checking on your friends and your family. And so I'm being more intentional with that. I'm still human and make mistakes, but I definitely want all my relationships in my life. I'm not going to be perfect. I can't do it all, but at the very least, check in and make time, even if it's an hour or 30 minutes or a phone call or FaceTime, check in and make time for your friends and your family and just your loved ones in your life. Last one, pretty sure my mom wrote this in. She just said, love you, mommy. Very, very sweet. Love you down, mom. She's my day one, number one. And then I just want to read some comments and then we'll be done with this episode. Okay. Someone wrote in, enjoyable episode. Kudos on editing changes. Keep it up. Thank you so much. I swear to you, me and Hermela talk about this all the time, but, when someone notices like different lighting or a different editing style or anything like that, it genuinely makes our day, because like, you don't understand, we have like hour meetings on just a simple detail because we just really want to make sure the podcast is getting better and better and better. And so when people notice that, it just really, really means a lot. Someone wrote in and said, I swear to y'all, I remember the first time I watched this guy's video. That's where I know one day he's going to be a comedian star, but I didn't think this fast. I personally love what you're doing right now. Keep it up. Thank you for having him. This is in referring to Mr. Goopy. This is probably one of our most viewed episode to date, which is amazing. So that's just showing love to Mr. Goopy. He is pretty, amazing. What else here? Someone wrote in and said, I am saving mom so we can have the next 4, 5, 6 kids in the future. And I know the mom more than the baby. This is the basic, or not the basic, the common would you rather conversation that we had, which was, would you rather save the mom or would you save the baby if there's any like birthing complications? And when I say, I'm not even gonna repeat what y'all said, but when I say y'all ate me up in the comments, y'all ate me up in the comments. It was giving Team Hermela for sure. Someone said, I love this. Keep it going, y'all. I really do appreciate it. Again, genuinely, like any comment really makes our day. So I appreciate everyone who is writing in. Someone said, hilarious. It's called linguistic accommodations. Don't worry, it's a sign of exceedingly high EQ. The best communicators and successful people have that skill. This is from our code switching episode. It's episode 10. I had my cousin Ruth on and we were just talking about like code switching and how that's a skill that you learn as a first gen, because for a lot of the times you are the only black or brown person in the room. And so code switching is something that we know very, very well. So thank you for that. I did not know that. Cause girl, when I put on my customer service voice, she be cute. I think it's a necessity, especially like in the corporate world. I'm not necessarily going to say that I'm proud of that. It's just a skill that I have and I'm going to use it to get ahead. That's just that kind of the world that we live in. What else? Someone wrote in, the goal is service to one another. That's 100%. Unless one see it that way in practice, it's bound to fail or struggle. I actually completely agree with this. I think in any relationship, we are in the service industry. What I mean by that, I think Chris Rock said that in his special Tambourine, I think. if you're in a relationship, keep this in mind. Never been in a relationship, but also coaches don't play. Just saying. If you're in a relationship and you're thinking, I'm getting this from this person, this person makes me feel about like this way, or I'm getting this, so it's all take, you've already lost. A relationship is when two people come together and they quite literally decide to serve one another each and every day and also choose one another. That's my understanding of a healthy relationship. We're talking about healthy relationships here. So if I wake up every day and I'm here to serve, it becomes like a very, very beautiful, very, very beautiful and enriched relationship. And I also think something that I'm learning is, as when I was younger, one of the loving things you could actually do for someone in your in your circle or in a relationship is to ask for help. And let me explain that a little bit. The reason why is because you build trust by asking for help. I'm learning that now. I have been blessed, and if they're listening to this, I love you girls, but I've been blessed with some amazing coworkers. They're quite literally family. I've had them over for dinner. They've had my mom's cooking. They are the literal best. I know their families and their kids and their spouses. We have a tight group, and I'm very, very blessed to know them, and they love me and I love them. Shout out to those girls. And I'm learning that by asking for help, whether it's like with work or some personal stuff, it's an opportunity for them to show up for me and show me in ways that they love me, right? So I thought when I was younger, earning trust is by giving and giving and giving, and that is true, but also being in a space where you're able to ask for help allows the other person to see what role they play in your life, right? Because, like, for example, if someone is not well, right, and let's say they've had surgery, right, and they ask you to kind of help them move around in their place, maybe help them shower. It's a very intimate thing to do, and so they're not just going to ask anyone. So if they're asking you, it's because they're giving you an opportunity for you to allow them to trust you, but also vice versa. So I think I'm learning right now in the seat right now in this moment that you earn trust by asking for help and vice versa. I hope that made sense, because I know I like to use a lot of words. Could be of a yapper. But I'm only passionate about that because I literally learned that maybe 5 minutes ago, that like asking for help is actually a beautiful thing. You cannot do this all on your own, whether it's in your faith, through God, through Jesus, through your friends. You cannot do life on your own. We're literally wired in a way to connect with one another, to speak with one another. That was why COVID was a very, very tough time for all of us for many reasons. So I just think that's like a cool thing that I'm learning right now, is that, because I used to pride myself. My ego would be stroked if I knew that I could do it by myself. I could just do it myself, which is a beautiful thing because I could trust myself, but I can't do it all, right? Let's talk about this podcast. Eventually, as we're growing, I cannot do every role sufficiently to where it needs to get done. I need to have a team with me that I can trust, and it's a beautiful thing to ask for help, but to also give it. So I'm glad I was able to share that with you guys. Let me see here. Someone commented, y'all sound like y'all are 95% American and maybe 5% Habesha. That is a wild thing to comment. I actually don't even know what to say to that. I don't know if I should say thank you or not. I think they meant it as a diss or something negative, but you're not wrong. Like, I will say that you're not wrong. But when I say I'm 100% Habesha, I am 100% Ethiopian. Let me see here. Now, see, this is where I get terrified of the DMs and the comments, because sometimes it's low-key a little bit terrifying, so I'm gonna skip some. I think I'm gonna end the episode here. Let me see here. Yeah, I think we're gonna end it there. Ooh, jump scare. I just saw a comment that I'm definitely not gonna read out loud. But if you want to be involved in our episodes when we do Firsties Corner, please make sure that you either comment on some of our videos, you could privately DM us, or you could write into firstiespod@gmail.com. We're always looking. We're literally looking at everything. If I'm honest, some of it terrifies me, but I have to stay connected with all of you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, viewing, subscribing, liking, doing all the things. I really do appreciate it. Again, I cannot believe that we're growing and we've made it past a year. Thank you for everyone who stayed with us. I will say, please comment down below if you've watched us from the jump, even now, because I want to see who my day oneers are and who are day twoers as well. So thank you so much, and we will see you in our next episode. Bye, guys.